Alrighty, time to get started. Alright, I just got back from a business trip, and like a couple of hours ago. Blaze, what's going on, my friend? How's your week been? I was just saying, I got back, I flew back into Oklahoma a couple of hours ago for my business trip, so looking forward to getting back into some game dev. It's kind of cold here in Oklahoma tonight. Yeah, everyone been treating you all right? Because if not, I'm gonna have to have a talk with them. Might have to have a talk with them. So I've got this situation where I think that my fire damage does not stack. So I think if I've got like a lot of flamethrowers hitting the bad guys. Oh, there's a bug right there. It's not, hold on, let me turn on my clicker. Yeah, let's test this real quick. I think the enemies take the same amount of damage no matter how many flamethrowers are hitting them. So I'm going to try to fix that here. And the burning damage probably does not need to stack, but it also looks like they're not actually taking damage while burning. That shouldn't be too challenging. Just if burning, then apply damage over time. And those flame particles are a mess too. So let's see then. Let's take a look under the hood at the flame towers. Oh, I need to start my Twitch stream as well. Can't leave Twitch out of the picture here. Sorry, Twitch. Alright. Flame. Flame on! I thought it was hilarious in the latest Deadpool Wolverine when Deadpool thought Captain America was there, and it was Johnny. Blaze, did you see the Deadpool movie? Are you into that sort of thing? Here is the code right here. So if the enemies are... Actually, let me back up a little bit. Just double check. So repeat for each instance of enemy. If the enemy's distance to... Ooh. There's actually one more thing I could do here. I'm going to add an event here, and this will be to check if there are flame towers at all. Tower head, fire, number of object instances on the screen. If it is greater than 0, then that means that they exist. And then after, if they do exist, then I want to do these checks. So we'll say if the enemy distance to the tower head fire is below this range, whatever that is set to, then also if the timer of, so that's actually set to 0.4. I'm going to set that to 0.5 because that's pretty easy to track, I suppose. I'd even just set it to 1 for troubleshooting here, because it should get quite a bit faster if I put like 4 towers on the same enemy. Then that timer might be the problem, actually. That might be the problem. So, because no matter how many flamethrowers are hitting the enemy, it's only going to take damage once every this amount of time. So 1 second or whatever. So I'm thinking... I'm going to duplicate that and then disable it. And I think we can't use the timer at all, actually. So what we'll need to do then is... I think we're just going to have to apply damage. I was thinking we might just have to apply the damage every single frame, but start making the damage amount a fraction as opposed to like a whole number. That might be more suitable. So like, 0.1 damage per frame as opposed to like, 1 or more points. But I also need to do a like for each event where it's taking into consideration the multiple towers too. So let me think here. How many frames do we have? Let me double check here. We're talking... Was it 30? gdevelop. I mean, I know of a way to, like, manually figure it out, but I'd rather just know. I guess it's variable, but usually 60 times per second. Okay. So 60-ish times per second. All right, so let me think. If we had... Oops. 1 divided by 60, so that's 0.016-ish. 0.017, something like that. So if I just apply this damage and don't do any kind of timer condition, we should see the damage equivalent to about 1 DPS. So let's find out. And again, it's not going to take into consideration multiple flamethrowers, so that will be the next thing to fix. We'll start with this first one here. 43, 42, 41. So that's approximately right. So since the number of executions is frame based, and I think I'm running on 60 FPS. Okay, so that's a good starting point. Okay, so now we need to take into consideration multiple flamethrowers. I want to make a variation of the flame tower that's kind of like a flame ice, a cold fire version of it. Something like it won't contradict your ice tower, but it also won't apply burning, something like that. So hopefully everyone's had a good week so far. It's almost the weekend, so hang in there. Unless you work on the weekend, in which case I appreciate your services. All right, so what I need to do is track the number. Let me see. I'm going to add an event here. Add condition, and we're going to track the tower head fire. What I really need is like the number that are in range. Number of object instances currently picked. Compare the number of instances picked by the previous conditions or actions. Number of object instances. Compare the number of instances picked. I wonder if that would give me what I need. Let's run a test on that. Although I don't want to compare it to a value, I just want the value. How do I get that value? Variable. If the enemy is within distance to the tower head, can I do a for each object here? I guess we're going to find out. Because I was going to do a repeat, but let's see here. For each object, if we repeat for each instance of tower head fire, and then apply let's see what happens here. A little bit skeptical about this implementation, but we'll find out. A little bit skeptical. It's a little sketchy. So a single flamethrower will torch these dudes in... It will torch them at 1 damage per second. We want to increase that. Actually, it looks like it increased. Slightly. I hate it when it does that. It's like, don't give me hope. I know something's wrong. Don't give me hope. Here we go. Trying to see if this is actually going more quickly. It definitely is. The flame damage is stacking now. So that's good to know. I've never tried that exactly with these events, which is interesting. I would know how to do it if I was like doing like pure like C++ or Java, but with these events I'd never done that exact setup. So I'm glad to see that it worked. I feel like I need to add a comment here for myself. What was that? Shift C. Yeah, dude, that was exactly what I was just now thinking about when I was clicking all those. That was not a good user experience. That's a really good idea. Maybe we can work on that. Flame damage should stack, applying damage per second. Assume 60 FPS. That's a really good idea. I need to figure out how to do like a drag, like a multi-select. Cool. Pretty happy with that. Should I keep the timer? What was that? Timer, enemy, backers, flame cone. If I'm not using it, then the answer should be no. But for now, I'll just leave this in here as disabled. All right. I'm going to put that on my to-do list. I'm going to add... See, I think I have some notes here on the screen. All right, so there is that. That should work for now. We could also add the damage for the flame debuff, which is also, it's going to be pretty similar. So that's going to be based on a variable, I believe. So let's close this function. Let's go take a look at the enemy variables. We've got on fire. So if on fire is true, then it should be applying damage over time. Quarry the glory. George, how you doing, man? So funny story about the Google form. I just, when I got home, I opened it up and I was getting ready to resubmit everything, and I clicked the link to open the Google form, and it was already filled out. I just failed to click on send on the form, so it was just lingering out there in cyberspace, and you didn't have access to it. So. But I also wasn't lying when I said I filled out the form. I did fill it out. I just didn't hit the send button. Blaze has updated his profile picture live in chat. Look at that. Look at that PFP. Did you make that? I've definitely got to get a multi-select because realizing how brutal it is to have to manually update a whole bunch of towers at the same time. But seems like adding in multiple flamethrowers will damage and stack, which is good. Yeah, like right now I should be able to just like drag and select all of these stupid things. Nice, yeah. I was gonna say, it looks like that might have your Blender handiwork written on it. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, let's find the burning. I don't know what I named it though. Sometimes when you step away from your work, or specifically parts of your work, it takes a minute to kind of get back into it. Some people would assume that when you code or program, let's see, burn, that you can look at it and you immediately know, but it's more like opening up a book that you're unfamiliar with. You can read the words on the page of the book, but without knowing the context, it doesn't necessarily make sense to you. So you have to come in and reread the context of what you're looking at for it to really make sense. So in this case, this is creating the burning flame. Where do I have the... Okay, so... I think what I need is not going to be down there. It just needs to be if... So the variable on fire is true. I'm going to create a sub event here. Actually, it might be faster if I do this. I'm going to create a parent event and drag a couple of the conditions up to it. So if the variable on fire is true and the variable freeze immune is false, this is where we apply the damage. And look at that, it's just right here. So I'm just going to copy that event, paste it here, and that will be... Let's try doing 0.034 for the flamethrower damage. And then 0.017. So that'll come out to 2 points of damage per second for the flamethrower and 1 point of damage per second for the burning. And let's give that a test. Let them burn. That's what Blaze would do. So we're just going to watch this first one here. Once he's out of range, should keep taking damage. I'm not convinced that it did. Let's try again. Okay, I think it did actually. Because one of the meteors hit it and ignited it again. 32. It's burning again. 31, 30. Okay, it's working. I mean, the flames don't look terribly good because they're not really centered on the things, but the damage is occurring, so that's always a nice thing. It's always nice to have a nice painful fire. So where we could fix that real quickly here. So we're creating the burning flame at position enemy X and enemy Y, and then we change the scale of it. That's the problem, because when you create a sprite, which is technically a rectangle, at this position, and then you scale it, it doesn't scale at the center, it scales at the corner. So it'd be up here, and now it's off center. So we need to recenter it. So I'm going to do a move, flame, burning flame, position. Let me just leave that blank for a second. And I'll just copy and paste right here. Okay. Let's give that a little test here. The flames should look a little more centered. Okay, they are not. And I think I know why. Let's double check the collision points on it. So first of all, the enemy points, that looks fine. We actually want it at center X, not just at X. Center X. And center Y. Test it again. Did you know back in the day when they had to do like punch cards for computer programming, they had to wait like entire days, hours or days to see the results of their code compilation? Developers or programmers were not even allowed to operate the computers. The computer operators operated the computers. All right, those look a little bit better. Little bit better. I feel like we should crank up some damage here. I think the burning should be 0.034. And this other one should be more like, let's say, 0.066. Obviously, it's all going to change as you play the game and get crazy power-ups. There we go. Now we should actually be able to kill something if we want to actually try to kill them. Boom. Look at those scrolls. It's rare loot right there, people. Because in this game, there's a little sub theme of knowledge is power. You get powerful from all these scrolls. Because you know more magic. Stuff like that. Who's winning? That's a good question. Are you talking like the official one? And the minimap one too. Nice. We gotta figure this out, don't we? Honestly, I need to put some thought into this, dude. Have you voted yet, George? I've seen some funny clips from Palworld. Nice. Are you allowed to disclose who you voted for? Okay, so you can do first, second. Oh, nice. I like that. Sweet. Yeah, anyone watching this, get your votes in. I need to do some homework and I'll get back to that. Good question. Good question. I actually just got back in from Vegas, of all places, but I was there on business. There was a big AWS conference and my company was there doing some networking. So I just got back in a couple of hours ago. So I did not win any money. I lost a little bit. Lost a little bit, but I did not win any money. That's all right though. Had a good time. In fact, interesting story. We were YouTube algorithm. How are you doing today, Protogen 2K? Good to see you on here. Yeah, we were eating in a restaurant, and because it was like my bosses and a friend of theirs, like they were the company owners, like tech startups, and lo and behold, who walks in but the Amazon.com CEO, and he went and sat at a table in the back of the restaurant. So we had someone take a picture of the three of us with like him in the background. Dear YouTube, because I spent a week learning Lua does not mean you can send me these videos. YouTube is on crack, so little known secret there. The best way to go in the casinos in Vegas is that you just think, I'm going to pay $100 to have fun in this place. Exactly, yeah. Well, I was telling someone else, it's like, you go to as long as you have the budget for it, right? It's like, if you're going to have a night on the town, you go to the club or something, you say you spend $100. There's a 0% chance you're getting your money back at the club, for most people. But there's a small chance you'll get it back if you go to the casino, so it's all good. Thanks, man. I think it's always funny though. You watch like one video of something, like a frog video, and then all of a sudden, whichever platform you're on, the algorithms just throw a whole bunch of that one thing at you. You're like, no, I just thought that short looked funny. I don't want frogs for the rest of my life. Get these out of my feed. All right, the burning is working. The flamethrower is working. It's stacking. It is working as intended. Cannot say that of everything in the game. And this scroll's text is on the wrong layer. That needs to be UI. Okay. Alrighty. What am I doing next? Let's see. I have a whole backlog of things I have to work on. But where did I put my backlog? Well, for starters, there was a smoke particle that was lingering around. Let me see if I can recreate the bug. I think it came off of one of the enemies when it died. Not sure though. Maybe it came off a tower? Oh yeah, it came off of a tower. So if I put the tower down, destroy it. So, okay. Deconstruct. Okay, so deconstruct, change the variable. Destroying tower of tower base set to true. So if deconstruct is active, the left mouse button was clicked or touch. Hello, how do you pronounce that? Goo? How you doing this evening? I like the Deadpool profile pic. Did you see the Deadpool Wolverine movie? I'm doing great. Doing great. Just got back from a business trip and I'm happy to be back doing some game dev and hanging out with friends. So I cannot complain whatsoever. Just working on this tower defense game in gdevelop. Squashing some bugs. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I liked I feel like they were like in touch with the fans, but obviously, yeah. It's I went into it though knowing that I couldn't take it too seriously, and I'm glad to see that I was correct. So, but I thought they did pretty well creating an entertaining film, at least. Just learned some coding. You don't know which language to start on. You have 3 options. Oh yeah, well, what's the opportunity? Are you just doing it for fun? Is it with school or something? Lots of languages, that's for sure. Yep, gamers and devs, we're an interesting breed, that's for sure. Have to be a little bit masochistic to do this kind of stuff. All right, so let me go back to my tower base. It has a set of animations. And they're numbered. I need to name them so I just know what they're called. So for example, tower base tier 9 is the moon. I think tier 10 is supposed to be the flame tower, but I need to double check. So 10. So what's your opportunity to learn some coding? Are you just doing that for fun? So right here I did a check to see if the moon tower is being destroyed. Here's 10. Okay. I remember this. I was trying to troubleshoot it and I logged a couple of messages. Let me try again and check for those messages. So I'll either get 1s, 2s, or 3s, or all of them if it's actually working. You can learn Python, JavaScript, C++ now, just don't know which one. You're doing this mostly for fun, but think you can try to build a future out of it. There aren't a lot of programmers where you live. Oh, well, where do you live? Java, so it really just comes down to, if you're thinking about it like for future use, if you want to build a future out of it, I mean, I'll be honest, once you learn one, learning a second or a third is going to be relatively easier. Because really learning the syntax of the code language and you know, do you put a semicolon here, do you indent, whatever. Brazil, nice. We got Brazil represented here on the channel. It really comes down to the use case, right? So Python is really good for like, well, it's really good for a lot of things. It's really good for like machine learning. It's huge in machine learning. JavaScript is as well. C++ is really good for, it's generally considered a slightly lower level language. And it's more, you know, you can really operate some hardware with C++. So if you're a systems developer, that comes in handy. Yeah, we've got 3 different countries. Well, actually 4. Blaze is Mexico, I believe, right? So we've got Korea, the US, Brazil, and Mexico. I think we still have 4 people on here. I started with C++, but then I did JavaScript, and then I also did Python. They're all good. I think C++ is a really great one to start with, just because you learn some things that the others won't show you. But man, just do whatever. If you look at a language and you think it looks fun, go for it. In fact, JavaScript is what this particular engine is based on, although I'm not using JavaScript, but it's the event lines that I'm using are based on JavaScript. Like I could add a JavaScript block right here and start using it. Python's good, and if you're looking at doing something for future use, obviously you can pivot at any point in time, and lots of developers know many languages, but I mean, like I literally just got back from a convention in Las Vegas where AWS was presenting a bunch of stuff, and it's all about machine learning. It's all about AI, and Python is huge in that field. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Okay, I need to debug this issue. Let me see how far into this I'm getting when I delete a flame tower. Man, when, let me see here. I'm looking up when it is. have to keep moving my head around because I've got these lights on my desk in my way. What does SXSW stand for again? Talking about AI, what do I think of it? Personally used it to help you learn the basics in Lua. No, it's a fantastic tool, and I think we've barely scratched the surface. It's a tool, and it has so many different use cases. Like, you know, because like there's not just one AI. You can have an app that you know, you can input a video and it can output text, or you can have something you could input. Obviously, everyone knows about putting in text to say like ChatGPT or something, and it spits out an image or something like that. But people are finding it really useful. For example, even in the medical industry, you can, like, they can parse different DNA signatures, things that would take people quite a lot of time to do, because they can run, you know, just, they can use supercomputers with AI to look at signatures that would take, you know, trillions of calculations per second. You know, weather systems. AI is really extending our capabilities. Yeah, I like AI. It's also a security risk for a lot of people too. Yeah, and if it helps you learn, keep using it. Yeah, the stealing art thing. So, and unfortunately, you're right, because it's not new. Like, stealing art is not new, because, like, you know, when the web really came around in the 2000s, you know, you had like LimeWire, and people were stealing, you know, music, and there was peer-to-peer file sharing. And so now, you know, AI art is just another way to sort of steal and rip off artists. Artists are not doing well. FYI, the price of video games haven't even really gone up over the past 30 years. They've been pretty stagnant as well. So yeah, that's a problem for sure. But I think people are the problem. I don't think that just the tools are the problem. I think the tools should be controlled in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I'm glad you like the look of the game. I'm working on this tower defense game. Been working on it for a little bit now. Alright, so when I destroy one of these, I'm going to check my console. Right here. Boom. And I only got, it says 111. So if I look over here on my event sheet, that is this particular event here, which means these sub-events did not register as true. So I need to fix those in order to successfully delete the tower. Yep, Mexican. So we've got at least 4 countries represented on channel tonight, which is pretty nuts. Who's the coldest tonight? I think where I am, it's going to be in the... let me get my Fahrenheit Celsius converter out. I think it's going to be about -2 Celsius where I'm living tonight. Is anyone colder? That's not bad. It's just barely freezing. Things are looking horrible for game prices. Like Spider-Man 1 is 200. A Lego game can go from 60 to 199. Man, oof. Yikes. Oh, today was -2 for you? Man, it's pretty similar then. Tomorrow it's going down to -4. Now, is that for the high or for the low? because that's our low. Our high is still in the above freezing. Yeah, okay, for the low. So it's still pretty similar to us, actually. That's interesting. I didn't know we were... But I guess you're kind of a temperate zone in the northern hemisphere. Right? Would you say you're a temperate zone? And yeah, I'm talking Celsius. The high is 4. Take into account all tower base. I'm a little confused though, because the tower's deleting. That. Oh, I know why. I think I just need to... Don't think that I need these at all, to be honest. Take into account all flame smoke linked. Flame smoke. Search there. Stick flame smoke to flame point. PlayStation did something to the PS5 for its 30th anniversary. Oh man, spill the tea, bro. We gotta know. So flame smoke is stuck to the flame point. Create flame point, and then I put that around. What if I stick the flame point to the tower head? Let's see if this breaks anything. They let you change how it looks depending on what PlayStation generation you chose. Oh, like, so you can change the graphics, like, to old school consoles? I think I just fixed it. I think I just fixed it. Man, 2 bugs down tonight. We're on a roll. Oh, even the sound? That is awesome. That's going to be a blast from the past for a lot of people. And all the young kids are going to be like, my eyes! What is this torture device? So I didn't even need that check down at the bottom at all. I fixed it in a different way. Just gonna delete those right out. Boom. Don't even need this message. In fact, I don't need this at all. Famous last words. I better test it. The PlayStation 5 Pro is like 7K where you live. Ugh. Yeah, well, while games haven't gone up in price that much, consoles are definitely expensive. That's a fact. That is a fact. Do you pronounce your username goo with a hard G? Or am I completely butchering that? All I can find is how to pronounce goo in Klingon. Are you Klingon from Star Trek?
Oh. Oh.
Goo. They might have had Brazilians in Star Trek. Cracks me up. Your brother has the PS4 at his apartment. The PS3 stopped working. PS3 stopped working. I almost bought a an original Game Boy at a thrift store the other day, but it was $100, and it was pretty weathered, so I decided not to. They said it worked, but I think I could do better. Alright, what's next? You know what I need to do? Let me close this folder here. Scene objects, global objects. Actually, I have a lot of cleanup I need to do. The PS3 and PS4 options are nostalgic for you. Yeah, man. For you and quite a lot of people. It's good stuff. Let's try this. Let's see here. And my Google is so dumb. I'm trying to look this up, and it's just giving me how to pronounce Gucci. Go home, Google, you're drunk. You made your own text font. How did you make your own text? What program did you use?
Kuma.
Kuma.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and send it on over. Go for it. You can drop it in the studio Discord if you want. Someone needs to help me find how to pronounce GHU in the Portuguese accent. My Google search results are weak tonight.
Oi, tudo bem?
Oh, man. Why is it so hard to find? Well, I'll have to figure this out. All right. Let's see what's next. We fixed the flamethrower damage stacking. Check. We fixed we added damage over time for the burning debuff. And then we fixed the centering of the flame particle for the flame debuff. And then we fixed the bug where the flamethrower smoke was lingering. So, yeah, lots of flamethrower stuff tonight. What else can we work on? I bet if we just move around in here, we're going to find some issues that need resolution. We need some resolving. The moon tower. I was doing something with that. And I finally figured out how to delete those extra moons. The startup doesn't change depending on what you choose. Oh. So like even if you choose a PS3 style, it's still going to boot up as like a PS5. Let's see here. I just downloaded a Stardew Valley font the other day, but it wasn't working very well. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Hey, that dog had a long day, okay? It's not lazy, it's misunderstood. And also it mooches because it doesn't have a job. Nice, dude. Very nice. Oh, it boots up as the PS1? Gotcha. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's a sample sentence with each letter. Nice. So what are you going to use it for? Font name, handwrite. Yeah, we've got a lazy dog. She acts like she wants to go outside all the time, and then when we let her out, she just lays down by the door. Alright, I need to move some of this stuff into some folders here. I wish I knew what all of these were for. Particle sludge. Sludge. That's something we could look at. Let's look at the sludge enemy. The toxic enemy. Because it's supposed to drip like a particle. It's supposed to drip a drop, and I'm not sure that it is. You gotta sleep. Alright, man. Well, thanks for hopping on. Always good to have you on the chat. So, thanks for hopping on late. Have a good one. George, you want to play Poof Runner? Not sure how to play it. You're not sure how to play it in terms of like the controls, or like you don't know how to access it? Poof Runner. Yeah, it's basically just jump. I don't know how I don't have my own play games. I thought it was left click too. Let's double check this. Pause my Spotify here. Let's see. I mean, the left click works for me. Is it not working for you? So what you should get is, I use space and D for dash. Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you click on a character. So yeah, that was from a game jam, and I'm considering when I get done with my tower defense, maybe just releasing this as like a little micro game, and you know, like a free to play kind of thing. So I got that art from Robert Brooks on itch.io. He has a lot of good stuff. Uses a lot of vector art. Paid art. I didn't steal it. Should just go back to this. But yeah, thanks for the feedback. Glad you think it's fun. I enjoy any time anyone takes a look at my my games. Oh, by the way, let me know whenever you're... I forgot who you said is making the game. That game that you'd like the review for. Just shoot the key on over to me and I'll get started on that sometime soon. Okay, what I need is the toxic enemy, which is number 7. So I'm gonna set the spawner to only spawn the toxic enemy, so I can figure out where we stand with that guy. Let's take a look here. It's been a while. Actually, we don't need a tower at all. Okay, there's a bug as well. So if I place a normal tower and deconstruct it, it's not deleting the head, so I need to do that. Oh, there's a live demo? Sweet. Is that just directly through Steam? Okay, so these guys... they do not seem to have that particle I was talking about. So let's see if we want to add it. Thanks, Light. Let's take a quick look here. Oh, Steam's doing a major update. Particle sludge. Do I have that in the game at all? Particle... somewhere. So I guess it is spawning. Let's take a look over here at this game. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like the concept. Like I said, I noticed Steam was trying to match it up with games like Portal, which is good because it seems like that's the direction he's probably going with it, is something, some sort of a puzzler challenge kind of concept. Might be too loud. How long has he been working on it?
Hello, dear players. I hope you enjoy my game.
Has he been working on that one for a while? Particle sludge. So let me see what this even looks like. I'm going to drag it into the middle of the scene. About 1.5 to 2 years. Nice. That's a pretty good amount of time. Oh, it's pretty cool. So if it was inspired by Portal, it's good to see the Steam recommendation there. So, alright, we've got this particle here. So I think it's actually attached. So I think the sludge enemy is looking as intended. I think it just is more faded. Maybe. To be honest, I don't see the sludge drops at all. I should see these things coming off of these guys. Alright, man. Gonna send a quick message to the console and just tell myself if this is working or not. Repeat for each instance of enemy toxic. Okay, run a test. And check the console here. It did register as true. What is the position of those particles? Refresh the inspector here. Right here, particle sludge. It is located at... It looks like it's where these guys are, at about X500, Y300. So, just wonder why I'm not seeing them. The opacity doesn't even change, they just shrink in scale. And this is the only occurrence in my events of that particle, just when they're being created, and then they're stuck to the enemy toxic. So we don't need this. At position, enemy X and enemy Y plus 20. So Y plus 20 would be slightly lower. How odd. Okay, well, let's go into the particle emitter. Maybe we can just make it bigger. So if the start size, let's just make it kind of, let's make it kind of crazy here. Make it kind of crazy here. No, not a tower. Definitely not seeing them. Let's see, what is the time to live? .5 to 1.2. What if I set that to like 3 seconds? Just trying to figure out why we can't see these particles. Actually, let me do that one more time and check the layer. It should be on the base layer, but if not, that's a problem. Scroll down over here on the inspector. Layer, particle layer. Okay, let's take a look at the particle layer. Is anything else on that layer? Where is that? It's under the base layer. That is probably the problem. Why would it be under? Let's drag that up and see what we're dealing with here. Maybe I can fix the size as well, because I made it obnoxious. Let's go with 20 by 5. Something like that. And test. It was on the wrong layer. Or the layer was hidden, rather. There we go. I probably did that, but really I should have just changed the Z order. So let me change the Z order as well. Alright, so the toxic sludge is on Z order. Enemies.z order -1. I will do the same. In fact, I'm just going to copy and paste that whole event. And test. Not quite. In fact, let me just put this on the base layer. There's no reason for it to be somewhere else. And then let's test that. There we go, a little bit better. I think that they're dripping a little too much, maybe. So for starters, let's make it not so big. Let's do like maybe 10 in size, maybe 2, and then particle maximum lifetime. Let's do 0.7. And test that as well. It's probably a little more reasonable. All right, I can live with that. Can definitely live with that. Just one other thing, and then I think I'm going to call it quits for the night here. Go back down to the deconstruct. Oh, and I can delete this. But bro, my code's gonna get really sloppy really fast if I try to stay on here. Let me see here. Cursor touches on the tower base. Okay, so right here, yeah, so if it's not the moon tower, take into account all tower heads linked to tower base, and then delete tower heads. So why isn't it not working? Let me add a message here. And test that. Wait for it to load up, create a basic tower, deconstruct the tower. It did not show up as true. What happens if I do a different tower? I have an idea of what might be the problem. Because that's not coming in as true. I think it's just a matter of... Let me go up to where the original tower is actually created. So that would be... tower base. Well, to be clear, it wasn't a photo of me with the CEO. It was a photo of us, and then the CEO was off in the background. Let me see if I can find it here. You know, we could have tried to go talk to him, but, you know, he was having dinner. We wanted to be respectful. Let's see here. It's going to be really hard to see on stream, but let me minimize some stuff here, make it easier to see. So basically above my head toward the back, he's back there at that restaurant. And it is, well, Bezos retired, so it's, this guy right here. Oops. Andy Jassy. So he did part of the talk, and then later that day he showed up at that same restaurant. So it was pretty funny. So he's the current CEO. He was the CEO of AWS, Amazon Web Services. Now he's CEO of .com. Heck yeah, man. It was too funny. Let's see, I'm just trying to fix one last bug here before I hop off. And so I'm trying to check, because this is something that was working and then I broke it, and I don't know when or where I broke it. But whenever I create the tower, maybe I should do indicator. Figure out where I use the indicator. Well, is work treating you all right? I know you're pretty busy balancing that with Minimap and Quest Unplayed. Okay, so right here, this is the problem, I think. No, actually, down below. So the animation of indicator is tower 1. The variable ID of tower base is equal to -1. Okay, let me check the variable of the tower base now. That could point us in the right direction. I set it to -1 as basically like an unassigned number. Unassigned, not unsigned. So create the tower and then do a refresh. And tower base. Here. ID is +1. Okay, well that's part of the problem then. Okay, let's just, I think I need to assign it. Change the variable. So if I go over here to the actual object, tower base, variable, ID, it's already -1. When does it turn positive? If the variable is -1. Okay, well, maybe that's not the problem then. Let me try sticking the tower head to it. We can maybe use that behavior. Let's try that. That worked. All right. I think we're in good shape now. Let me just run a couple of tests to put some different tower types out here. Deconstruct, deconstruct. All right, they are playing nicely with each other. All right, cool beans. Well, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on a video, get ready for work. Friday, weekend's coming. So thanks so much for hopping on the stream, George and everyone else, anyone else who's still lingering around. Definitely appreciate y'all hanging out. And yeah, I know you're in the middle of your workday, so get it done and get to that weekend, bro. Yeah, 4 hours. Any plans? Yeah, you have a great weekend as well. And I'll probably be chatting with you in the meantime anyway. Cleaning. Yeah, I'll be doing some cleaning as well. I have some chores. Hanging out with the friends. Nice, nice. Family friends. Cool beans, man. Well, in that case, you have a good one. And to anyone else out there watching this, whatever you're working on, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have fewer bugs than I do. Thanks.